All right. Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday Notary Titans. I'm Laura Bewer with CoachMeLaura.com and at your service, Mobile Notary. My two co-hosts who aren't with me today, Bill Soroka is out traveling the world, as you know. And although you may see his picture somewhere on here, he's really not here. So don't chat with him. He won't respond. Carol will not be on today. She too needed a day off for personal reasons. And so she'll be back next week with me. And of course, in 2 weeks, Bill will be back as well. So today, let's see what we've got going on. We've already got about 75 people. Before we start, some things I'm excited about. Symposium is sold out. So if you had wanted a seat, I hope you got it, because that's it. I'm out of seats. So we're very excited about that. And now I'm working on the welcome boxes. So for those of you who do have a seat, I get the honor and privilege and fun of picking out all the little goodies that we put in the welcome box. So that's what's taking up my time right now. Second of all, I have something I wanted to read. Let me see if I can. Shoot, I think I'll have to save it till next week because I wanted to read for you something that Marcy Tibiero wrote, and it was called "I'm Just a Notary," and it listed all the different things that we do and a job description that might be called, like I'm a circus manager, and I'm a this or that, and it talks about all the different things that happen to us as a notary. It is hysterical. So I promise I'll bring that for next Tuesday for us. Before I move into any questions, remember a couple of boundaries. One is, please stay muted until it's your turn. That way we can hear you clearly when it is your turn, and we can hear everybody else clearly when it's their turn. Also, cameras on, clothes are on. We can see what's going on in the background. We can hear the clicking on the keyboard. We can see it all. So if you don't want us to see it, turn off the camera or make sure that's not happening. And third of all, somebody, let's see who it was, sent in a couple of questions for TNT to share at the next TNT. And I want to start with them. Lorraine. So I don't know if Lorraine's on the call today, but Lorraine asked, can you notarize with a stamp of your name, or does it have to be a wet signature of your name? And the notary signature cannot be a stamp. It needs to be a manually affixed wet signature. And then, do I have to stamp and emboss on all the pages of the closing, or just use the stamp in the documents? So first of all, I want to clarify that we only stamp or emboss documents we're notarizing, which are not all of them. So just those ones that have notary wording that tell us, hey, I'm certifying something here. And then you don't stamp and emboss. We would stamp or emboss depending on what your state allows for your seal of office. So Lorraine, thank you for asking those questions, because you're not the first one who's asked them, and we haven't addressed that in quite some time. So if you're on the call, I hope you heard that. And for those of you who didn't know that, now you've learned something too. So let's see what everybody else is thinking about this week. I'm going to start unmuting people. And I'm going to start with Neil. I'm going to ask him to unmute. If the rest of us would stay muted, that'd be great.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I just have an issue. I'm trying to get my journaling down, and I keep hearing about this modern journal of notarial events or acts. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to get some clarification if I can use it in Arizona. I can't seem to get a straight answer from anyone. So what is your take, or is there anybody in the chat that can answer that question that's in Arizona?
So I'm going to say two things. One is, great. If there's anybody in Arizona in the chat and you want to put your 2 cents in, please do so. I'm going to open so I can see the chat. And then the second thing I want to share is what makes you think it's not acceptable? What about it is making you think that?
Well, actually, nothing is making me. I just wanted to clarify that it was okay for me to use that. Because I know in some states it may be against the rules. And I just want clarification. And when I asked the office, the girl that answered the phone didn't really understand what I was talking about. And she said she asked her supervisor, and the supervisor said, no, I couldn't use it. And then I decided to email the office. And late last night, I'm talking about the Secretary of State, late last night, I got an email saying, or it just listed the requirements for the journal. It didn't really answer my question because I put a link to Amazon so they can see what it looks like.
Right.
And I didn't really get a straight answer. So I just wanted to make sure that it was correct.
So let's practice thinking through the question and the issue. My thought would be the statutes will not tell you you can use this journal or that journal. What it will tell you, if you're required to maintain a journal, is these are the requirements. These are the specific elements that you must record. And even a state like California, where we got to record everything practically, is the same way. They say, hey, we want a bound journal, and we want these elements. So any journal that, that's funny, I thought I put it to vibrate. There we go. So any journal that has all the elements that you're required to record will be acceptable.
Right.
So that's what I would look at. I would look at what are the elements in that journal. Is there a place for everything you must record in Arizona? And if it is, then there's nothing wrong with using that journal.
Right.
Now, I don't know if anybody else put anything else in there about journals, but that would be my take, is compare the journal entries available to what's required by law in Arizona. And if anybody doesn't know how to raise their hand, let me just add that click on participants at the bottom of the screen, and then go up about halfway and you should see hands you can click on. Okay. All right, Neil, does that help you?
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I was doing, but I just wanted like clarification because I was getting conflicting answers. So
sure. Now, I don't think any Secretary of State's going to say this is the journal you have to use. They're going to tell you what requirements are that are needed.
Right, and that's what the NNA did. They gave me the same thing that the Secretary of State did, but they did preface it with you can use whatever style you like as long as, you know, it includes what's required. So.
Very good. Thank you for asking. All right. Michelle. I'm going to ask Michelle's iPhone. There's more one.
Hi.
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
I have a two-part question. One is someone requested me to notarize some documents from a foreign country.
Okay.
And then they asked me if I will be the one taking it to City Hall to get it certified. And I was like, I don't think so. I'm not sure, but let me get back to you. Would that be something they will have to take to get certified, or do I take it and get it certified?
So the first part is that you're handling a document destined for a foreign country. And whenever the documents we notarize here in the States go out of the country, many times a second step is required called authentication or apostille. And that may happen at the county level, actually, if it's domestic. It might happen at the Secretary of State level. It might happen at the U.S. Department for federal level, U.S. State Department. So depending on whose signature was being authenticated, if it's the notary signature that needs to be certified or authenticated, that typically would be the agency that regulates notaries, Secretary of State. If it is some other public official that signed that document, then typically that could be done without notarization, and it's Secretary of State or federal level. So you could offer that as an additional service. Yes, I could take it to have it certified for you for an additional fee. I do that kind of work. I actually just did 6 documents yesterday that were going to the Philippines. And so the first thing I had to do was notarize all 6 of them, get them prepared, and then I started the process of facilitating them getting the apostille done through the California Secretary of State. And I charged extra for that.
Oh, okay. And then because someone else had asked me to notarize something from the Philippines. And then he also told me the apostille thing. And I told him I'm not an apostille. But I could notarize it and then take it to get it certified for him because
Yeah,
that was
that's
an
right.
absolute deed.
Yeah, so the process always is a notary is certifying or authenticating the signer. The apostille or authentication is where the notary is being authenticated or verified. So you're saying it's the right guy that signed the document. Secretary of State
Right.
saying I'm a valid notary and I performed a valid notarization.
Oh, okay. I thought I had to take some class to be an apostille or something.
You don't have to have a class to be, what do they call it? Some kind of agent. I can't think of the first word. If Julie's on today, if you put it in the chat, but you don't have, there is no certification requirement to facilitate that. Just know you can never issue it directly. You always have to go through the regulating agency.
Oh,
Okay, Michelle?
Okay, and one more thing. I register for your Laura Presents.
Yes.
And it says that I could use an app, but the app keeps buffering. The KAJ something app. In your thing, there's an app that I can use for my phone. And it just keeps buffering. And I try to get help, and then they tell me about a plan and a fee.
All right, my LBP actually resides on Bill's website, notarycoach.com. So I'm gonna need to have you email to him to get assistance with that.
Oh, okay. I did email him, but like you said, he's away. So.
Well, he's away right now, but I can't do anything to help you with that. That's a technical issue I can't handle. I wish I could, but I'm just not tech savvy.
Oh, okay. And that is the same thing as Coach Me Laura, right? Am I correct, or that's totally different?
That's two different websites. My LBP resides on notarycoach.com, and then I have my own website called coachmelora.com, and I have other classes and coaching available there as well.
Oh, I think I registered for the wrong one then. Okay.
All right. Well, if you need more assistance, Michelle, would you email me and I'll get back to you?
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Okay. And before I take the next person, let me remind you one, as our other previous callers have done for us, identify the state you're in. I appreciate that. And the second thing is to try to limit it to one question if you can, so I can get through as many of these as I can. Sebastian, you are next.
Hello, Laura. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Sebastian. So what's up today?
Not much. I have a question and I have a bit of a win. So last week I was on a Zoom meeting for some training, and the presenter is a presenter from a local title company. At the end of each presentation, she asks a question and the person wins a prize. I was the lucky person to get the answer correct, and I won my first signing from that local title company.
Yay!
So that's my win. And then the question I had is kind of a personal one, I guess. I was just wondering if you were okay with all the fires and everything in California. How are you handling that, and are you in a safe space?
Well, I am in a safe place. Modesto is just kind of stuck there in the middle of the valley. So my nearest fire was about 45 minutes from me. But here's what's happening for us who live in the valley. So, you know, Stockton, Modesto, Merced area is all of the particulates just kind of sunk down on us.
Oh,
and
wow.
Sometimes we couldn't even see very well. It was so heavy, the soot and the ash. So the air quality is really bad, and it's not recommended for us to go out, outside. So today though, looks much better. It's getting better every day. If we could get a little wind in here to blow it out, that would be nice. But thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thank you.
All right, you too. All right, I've got Nadia. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Where are you?
Hi guys. Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Two things. I went back to my notary book and noticed that I missed the driver license number I don't know how I did that. I have the expiration date and the state it was issued at, but did not get the number. What do I do?
So first of all, Nadia, what state are you in?
California.
So here's what you would be told by the Secretary of State. We're not supposed to modify our journals after the fact, but you just did this, right? You just did this signing. Can you get it? Can you go back to them and get it?
No, I don't have their number.
All right, then there's really nothing you can do, is there?
No.
What I would tell you is in terms of what will happen, well, maybe nothing will happen, because if your journal's not audited, if it's not, if the act doesn't turn up in a lawsuit, then it's going to be in your journal and nobody's going to know. Now, if it was audited by Secretary of State, then you could see a fine, a negligence fine. Oops, my bad, I missed that. That's probably what that would be. And if it was, you know, came up in court, of course, in a lawsuit because somebody said, that wasn't me, I wasn't there. It's a little bit more for the attorney to challenge the, you know, the legitimacy of the notarization itself, which is like the first thing they try to do. So, but I think both of those are unlikely events.
Okay.
And so next time you're just going to remember, right? That
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Another thing, I was on a loan signing appointment, and you know, when you're there, you're watching all the signatures happening and everything. Well, the title company wanted a notarization on a document. It didn't come with it, and it wasn't specified, but they wanted a notarization. So since I was there, I added a loose leaf and notarized the document, shipped it back. But what happened is, because I did another notarization the next day, how do I add that? The date I would have to record would be for the previous day, but I had already logged in another loan signing, and I know that your journal has to be dated in order. What do you do in that situation?
Nadia, I'm hearing two different issues here. One is, do I understand you correctly? They asked you to create a certificate without a document to go with it?
No. They needed me. They wanted me to notarize the document. I think it was a subordination agreement, which they did not make clear that I needed to notarize it.
All right. So you had to go back.
So I had to go back and notarize that document.
Then I've got it. So I've got it.
Got it?
Nadia. Okay. So here's the deal. It's a new notarization. It's a new day. And it's going to be whatever the date and time is that you actually perform it. You may not backdate it.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I will tell you, there are some states that are not the same as California. But actually, most states, it's about correction, not about it's a whole new notarization that you missed. You're just going to have to put today's date.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cassie, you are next. Are you available? I'll hit the ask to unmute. Cassie, we're not hearing you if you're talking. Up, she lowered her hand. Let's see. Okay, we'll come back to her if she has a question. Terry in Washington. Thank you, Terry, for putting your state next to your name.
Hello.
Hi, Terry.
I had my very first signing today.
Yay!
So I'm very nervous, but it is someone that I know that I met over Labor Day weekend and talked to them about it, and they said, we'll use you.
Okay.
So it's the property it's a seller. The property's in Colorado. They're in Washington State. It's two sisters on the documents. My question is, for the sister that's not around here, do I need to do anything with her name? Do I need to cross it out? Do I just leave it blank?
All right, Terry. So when we do a split signing like that, the other signer's name needs to remain on the document, and it needs to remain under the signature line where she will sign at another time with a different notary. What you need to watch out for, Terry, is if they have inadvertently put both of the sisters' names in the same notary certificate. If that is the
No,
case,
they didn't.
okay, then you're okay. You're good to go.
So just for the other parts where they sign, I just don't do anything. Just leave it for them to, for the second party to sign their names when it's not notarized.
Please leave the space there for them to be able to do that.
Okay. And then one other quick question is, I have someone else that's going to be closing next month. How is the best way for me, and they said they want to use me, what is the best way for me to get the, do I need to contact the title company? Do they just request it? What is the best way?
So they're wanting to use you. They're not the realtor. They're not the title company.
Correct. They're the buyer.
They would drive it, and they would need to ask whoever their loan officer is, probably, to find out if the title company that's being used will allow you to be the notary. Okay. So for instance, I've had that happen before I was Fidelity approved, and they said, sorry, she's got to work through a signing company. And then they moved me under a signing company, and then they still hired me, but it was under a signing service.
And I just got a PAC signing. I think that's the name of the company. Sent me a contract to set up with them to do signings. And they also sent me paperwork to be Fidelity approved.
Great. Good news. Fill out that package and get it back. Opens lots of doors for you. Thank you, Terry, for sharing. All right, the next person is it Lakeisha? Lakeisha, are you here? Going once. I'm gonna try one more time. Lakeisha? All right. Then let me drop down to, is it Marion in Texas? All right, Marion, let me.
Yes,
unmute it.
thank you.
Great.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, I have my first will signing tomorrow at my office, which I'm really excited about.
Great.
And I have I don't know if it's a question or not, but I'm wondering, they're calling it a will signing ceremony, and it's 3 hours. I'm like, a will signing ceremony? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a thing?
Okay, I don't know.
I've been at a will reading ceremony where I was the notary and I was called there to read the will, the reading of the will.
Oh.
But not the signing. I mean, the signing is just a signing.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I don't know.
However long it takes to sign documents.
Anyway, well, I'm going to find out.
Okay.
My question is really important to me. My daughter lives in Michigan in the Lansing area, and I would like to spend 4 or 5 months a year there. And so I found out, I went to the state.
I just got my label, and it's UPS, not FedEx.
What's that?
Oh, hold on. Somebody's unmuted
We have
themselves.
a UPS here. So.
Could you please mute yourself, whoever you are?
It's Miss Shaw. And Jeanette Shaw. Anyway,
okay.
She's quiet now. Okay. So I'd like to spend 4 to 6 months in Michigan and the rest of the time in Texas.
Uh-huh.
I went to the state of Texas and I went to the state of Michigan, and it's not clear. I mean, I know what I have to do to become notarized in Michigan, but how do I know if it's okay with each state to do that?
Well, first of all, you need to look at the requirements to hold a commission. So
I did.
To hold a commission, does Michigan require residency?
Yes, but it says residency or you have an office there.
Okay, so you're going to need to contact them. I'm not going to be able to help you further with that. If it says residency, it's how that state defines what residency is. I don't think 4 months is residency myself. or that I've got an established business there for 4 months, but they may disagree with that. And they may say, yes, if you're setting up business here and you're going to be here for 4 months and you've got an address, you can go through the requirements and hold that commission. There you are, and hold that commission. I think you really need to discuss it with the regulating agency in Michigan to make sure that you'll meet those requirements, because you're going to be over 6 months in Texas, and your office has been in Texas, so you don't need to really do anything there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Hey, that's a long time to spend over there. I hope it's not when it's snowing. And
Oh, no. Believe me, when it snows, I head back.
that's not it. Okay. Fabulous. Well, good luck on that. Let me know if they determine that establishes residency for you and that they would allow it.
Okay.
Because it'd be good for the group to know.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lorena, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hello, good afternoon,
there you are.
Laura. How are you?
Good. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just had my LASIK done on Friday, so I can't show my face right now. I have a quick question.
Before you
I'm pretty sure.
Before you ask it, Lorena, what state are you in?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am from California.
You're in California. Great. Easy
So,
question, whatever it is.
on Labor Day last week, I was asked to do a loan signing. I work for this company as a realtor and as a loan originator, but they know that I also do loan signing. For loan signing, I'm really unexperienced on that field. So this was my first loan signing. They asked me to backdate to September 4th, which I declined. So in short, we stopped the signing.
Okay.
Of course, they were not happy about it. You specifically said that even the right to cancel or notice to cancel was dated
Right.
September 4th.
Right.
And so did I screw that up or?
That's exactly right. We're not allowed to backdate any certificates. I don't care what the date the document is, but my certificate cannot be backdated.
That's what I tried to explain, that I said the person did not, appear in person on September 4th. I just
Right.
saw him today. And that's what I tried to explain. But, it just seems like, it put the wrong impression that I don't want to do the work. And I said, no, it's not that I don't want to do the work, but I am, this is my livelihood and I don't want to risk it. So I stopped the signing.
It was the right answer.
Okay. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome. Thanks. Tam in Oregon.
Hey, mine's kind of a two-part question, but I hope it will be good.
Okay.
One, Oregon just put in effect, just like in the past 30 days or a little bit more, that we can do RONs.
You can do Ron. Okay.
Yeah. And so the question is, when I did it with the Secretary of State, they said I needed a certificate, electronic, from the provider or something.
Right, from the platform.
Yes.
Or the NNA sells them, or you can get them from the platform.
Okay, well then my next question is, I did look at the NNA, but it says it's only specific to certain platforms, and I cannot fathom what platform to use. And so I'm just wondering if anybody has experience and could recommend a couple platforms.
So first of all, what did Secretary of State say in terms of platform providers? So did they list them? Did they say
Yes,
whoever you want?
They did list them. So I looked at Doc Verify. But when I tried to get a certificate, one from them, they said I have to get it from the state, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And so I was just wondering what people use. if
Well,
people,
they'll be, look in the chat, and people are already starting to. One
okay,
Notary, Doc Verify, also Sinex, I believe, is
Sinex.
another one.
Okay, I think the NNA was good for Sinex, but it wasn't good for the Doc Verify. So I want to kind of,
Doc Verify wants their own.
yes.
Yes.
So I just want to kind of go with one that will work in one platform instead, and go with the state versus everything else. So that's
you need to talk to the platforms.
okay.
And ask if you have to use theirs, or can you use the one from the NNA?
Okay. Well, but that leads to a whole nother bunch of questions because of people said pricing and things, but I'll go with the suggestions here. And thank you very much for your advice.
You're welcome, Tam. Thanks for asking. Oh my goodness. Let's see where we're at. Tam, Wayne. I'll give you a second, Wayne.
I needed a second at this age, you know.
Hello.
I came across a unusual, I was doing I'm in Arizona, by the way.
Thank you.
I was doing a signing for a title company in Rhode Island for an Arizona property. The jurat that they sent with the package had the words "to wit" adjacent to the venue.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, if I recall, it's a legal term, I believe, that is regarding, specifically regarding. There's nothing for you to do with it. You just fill in your venue as normal.
Okay.
But it's either specifically regarding something like that. I know that there's nothing you need to do extra because it's there.
Okay, that was my biggest concern, because I've done almost 100 signings now, and I've never seen that before. But then I've never done any Rhode Island work either. So,
there's a couple of other things that sometimes show up at the venue. Sometimes you'll see SS,
right,
and sometimes down in the seal area, I haven't seen it in a long time, you'll see LS, locus sigilli, this is the location where your seal goes. That's what that was for, if you ever see it. And the SS is like California, specifically this county, right?
Okay.
So these are old terms that are still hanging on, and sometimes you find them and sometimes you don't. It's like the word not state specific.
Yeah, it's like the word seal after the signer's signature line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Thank you. That's what I needed.
All right. Thanks for asking. Okay. I'm asking, is it Miranda? I'll give you a moment and see if you can unmute yourself. There you are. Are you there? Okay, great. Oh, but you're muted.
I'm unmuted now.
There you go. All right.
I have a question. I have finally sowed some seeds, and I got direct, and they didn't call me today and filled up my schedule. My question is, this is a pretty prestigious direct, but I don't know how to price it as far as my fees. As far as you just said.
Well, do you have any other direct that you're handling?
I did. They found me on Notary, Resume, or something of that nature, and I took what they offered. I just said okay. This is a different type of situation. It's purchases. It's basically Miranda Homes, like my name.
Right.
I've been working this deal for a very long time, ever since I became a notary, and they finally called me and booked up my whole calendar. But I don't know like what the going price is, and I didn't want to be greedy. And
Miranda, what state are you in?
I'm in Florida.
In Florida. And so, I believe Bill has some pricing information in his website, and I don't remember which section it's in. But I can tell you that I take signings from all over, including Florida. And I've seen direct go anywhere from $150 to $250, anywhere in that range, depending on the requirements of the assignment. So
I'm going to their office, and it's like an hour and 21 minutes away.
Okay, so you have to drive far. Do you have to print, or are they going to print?
They have the printed there.
Okay, so all you're going to do is show up, conduct the
That's enough.
signing, and go home. So it's all time for you. All right, so how many hours are you going to have in it? You're going to have almost an hour and a half there and almost an hour and a half back. That's a 3-hour drive. And then are you going to do multiple signings while you're there?
Yeah, she got me on 3 on one day, and then 1 is only 1. But I'm, showing and proving, so.
Well, all I can tell you is that what I typically see is anywhere from, actually, I normally see more like 175 to 250 for allocated. That's kind of what they allocate for the signing. Whether or not the notary gets paid, that's another story. But that's the expense level that I see. And so anywhere within there, I think would be reasonable. You just have to, you're going to have to negotiate with them since they're giving you more than one assignment. When it's one time, you might charge more, right? You might be on the high side. But if they're giving you 10, 15 assignments for the month, then you might be cutting a deal. I cut deals. When they're going to give me that many assignments, I'm going to cut a deal, and I'm not going to be at the high end.
Right.
But you're going to have to make that decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What am I comfortable receiving in payment for making that drive back and forth, right? Because you can't do any other assignments. You're tied in that day or for that block, right? Probably at least 3 hours to 5 hours, depending on how many assignments they give you. So you've got to make that decision.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see, Jesse. Jesse?
Yep, I'm here.
There you are. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? My name is Jesse, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I actually have a couple questions, but they're really short, I promise.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is with the E&O insurance. I had just purchased the E&O insurance from the NNA, and I totally forgot that I had already purchased 3,000 of it when I first got my notary. What do I do? Is that going to be a problem? Like,
call the NNA if you want to cancel it and cancel it. They'll refund it.
No, well, I want to keep the NNA, but the other one is the one that I got when I first got notarized. I had just bought it with the package.
So I don't know what to tell you because I don't know who that vendor is or how they work.
I mean, I'm not going to get any trouble for any of that, am I? Because I have two.
You're going to have two policies. You can have 2 policies of E&O. It's just over insurance.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Now I am going to take the exam today, so wish me luck, God forbid. And
Jesse, remind me where you are?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, okay.
Yep. Any advice as far as the exam? I've heard it's not that bad. Some people have said it's really hard. Some people say, it's not, but I guess everybody's different.
Yeah. So I haven't taken the Pennsylvania exam, so I can't really offer a lot. I don't know if there's anybody who's taken it and they want to put something in the chat. That would be great. But 1, I'll tell you good luck. Number 2, the advice I would give you is that you go into the exam believing you're passing that exam. I want you to vision it. It's already happened. I've already passed the exam. As of this moment, you've already passed it.
I already did that. Yep.
Right, great.
I've been saying it all day, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pass it, and that's just going to be it.
Not I'm going to pass it. Not I'm going to, Jesse. That's in the future. You've already done it. You passed.
Right.
It's happened. Right? You're already past that's it. You don't need to worry about that anymore. It's already happened. Preparing your mind for the outcome that you want is just as important as knowing the material.
I never thought about it like that. True. And I have 2 other people that are interested in being notaries. I was kind of like trying to build a notary network. Can they sign up for Notary Titans so they can just see the types of questions, or they have to be a notary to get it?
No, they can go to notarycoach.com/TNT, sign up for the emails, and they can.
Same way I did. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Let's just see. Yeah, you've already passed. Yay. All right, Jesse. Jennifer at Monterey Bay. I love her location. But she's not unmuted.
Oh my
God. There we go. Now you are.
How are you?
Good. How's it happening over there? Because there was a fire in Carmel Valley, not
Yes.
far from Monterey, in Toro, El Toro.
We're kind of surrounded. There's the Dolan fire in Big Sur. There was the Carmel fire, and then the Salinas fire. So I was kind of right in the middle. We still have the Big Sur fire going on, which my husband is out at now. But yeah, it's kind of smoky and bad.
Yeah.
Two quick questions. I'm very new at being a notary, and I've done one loan signing so far. It was a doozy. But two small questions I have. Number one, for general notary work and loan signings, I realize that your cert must match the signed docs, but does that have to also match the journal entry? Say the signed document, it's the initial M for Mary as a middle name, but in my journal, can I go ahead and put the full name instead of M for Mary, write out Mary as the middle name? Or is there an expectation that it all has to match?
So great question. This is about the journal. And in California, the name area where you print the name out is an optional column, which means you can choose what your procedure is going to be.
Okay.
So my suggestion is whatever you decide to do, be consistent.
Okay. I generally put the entire name, but I also make a note in the notation area that certificate, you know, certified as Jane M. Doe.
Sure. However you do it is fine, since it is an optional column to begin with.
Great.
Just be consistent.
Thank you. And then another quick one. For loan signings, is there a different type of loan signing for businesses as opposed to residential? And do notaries work with those as well?
Yes, it's called commercial work. And if you've taken Bill's course, he does have some information, I believe, about commercial work. I've done a couple of them myself. It's not normally part of my work, my portfolio, but once in a while I'll get called in. I've done commercial loan signings for a hotel, you know, the smaller ones before, and it was a signing service that contacted me about that. The other time it was a direct escrow. I haven't gone after that market, but that's a market in and of itself. You can specialize in doing commercial work. I wish Bill was here today because I think he'd have more to say about it.
Yeah, we're really saturated in this area, so I'm looking at trying to get into that market. So I'll look on his site. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Kimberly.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
There you are.
All right. I had a couple of questions.
Before you start, Kimberly, what state are you from?
Yes. I had intended to say that. South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So I'm in an attorney state.
Right.
And I've been a realtor for a few years almost. So it's a little over 2 years. And I started doing loan signing within the last few months. So I have incorporated that as part of the work that I'm building to do more of. But my question is mainly that when I go to a signing, I've had several refinances that I was assigned to, and the attorney in our state, the attorneys conduct those signings.
Right.
And so they require a notary if they don't have their own stamp or they're not a notary public. So what is the proper way? Because I would like to use more of those contacts as potential real estate leads in the future. And I don't want to cross the line, like to market later on.
So do you have a CRM system where you're keeping records on your clients? So attorneys you've worked for?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a plan for keeping in contact with them over time so that they know who you are, they remember who you are?
I don't have a plan for that, but I am working on it.
Okay. So
Yes.
Yeah, is that if you're already getting the ability to be in contact with attorneys who are doing real estate, staying in contact with them and letting them know, what
Okay.
you do besides being a notary is a
Okay.
great way to keep you in top of mind for them when they're
Yes.
dealing with, purchases for, brand new. But of course, I don't know that they're in the front end. I mean, who's at
No.
the front end of the train there?
Yeah, I mean, we are. And then I was thinking about the actual signers, who are
Right.
the homeowners
Uh-huh.
or the sellers. So being able to market to them. I have taken upon myself to just give my card out at the end, just,
Okay.
letting them know in case you are considering or you know someone that, I said, I'm also a realtor as well. So I give them my card because I don't have my notary card yet, being relatively new to notary work.
Kimberly, what about the attorneys? Do they have anything to say? Are they not in the room?
They're usually gone by that time.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't really
these are taking, I'm sorry, these are taking place at their homes.
Okay.
At
All
the,
right.
the
I don't
client's
really
home.
see, Kimberly, I don't really see an issue with you giving them your card to let them know I also do this. I would
Right.
not be making a big old sales pitch. It doesn't sound like you are. So
Right.
I don't see an issue with that. You're not trying to take away the attorney's business. They still have to use an attorney when they do the next signing.
That's right. That's right. Okay, well, that's great. And
Okay.
then the other item is about setting up an LLC or the business structure for doing notary work on a consistent basis, especially because I recently had several signings to do, and the companies that I did the signing for, they wanted the W-9. I could use my social security number or I could use the EIN number, but I'd already had an EIN number for real estate. So I just went on and did one for my notary business. So in setting up an LLC, at what point or did you find it necessary to do that?
Right. So I'm not an LLC.
Okay.
And for a couple of reasons. One, sole proprietorship costs less for me to set up, number one.
Right.
In California, you're looking at $800 a year just to have an LLC.
Oh,
The
my.
second reason I didn't do it is because it doesn't help really in the liability because you hold a commission in your own name, not in a company name. So it's still you, right?
Right.
That's why I have, other insurances to help me, and that's why I'm good at what I do. So hopefully I don't have that issue. So it wasn't really going to help me so much. And that's usually why people set up LLCs. And of course, that structure is great for tax purposes, right?
Right.
Although a sole proprietor can write off everything there is that it costs to do business. So, I'm only taxed on what's left. So for me personally, this is a personal decision. I did not think that I will ever need to be an LLC to run my notary business.
Okay.
It's a six-figure business, so it's a big business, but I
Right.
don't feel a need for that. That may not be the right answer, however, for other people, either in other states where it doesn't cost anything, or it doesn't cost what it costs for us to do that. And they may have other reasons that it's a better tax strategy for them than it would have been for me. And we always recommend, Bill, Carol, and I always recommend you should talk to whoever does your taxes to tell you from the tax perspective what's the best strategy for you.
Okay. And I'm a tax preparer too.
There you go. So you know what? I'm not. So
Okay.
all I can do is share this is what I did, and this is what when I talked about it with my own CPA, this is the decision we thought was best for my situation.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for your responses.
You're welcome. All right, we still have a little time here. How about Tamara? Tamara's iPad. I'll give you a second. Ask it to unmute. No? Going once. You still there? If not, I may have to come back to, actually, she dropped off. So how about, is it, I don't know if this is Heina or Hina. I'm apologizing up front for not.
It's Hannah.
Hannah.
Hi.
All right.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, I'm in California.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually a question related to the lady before me. Is notary income subject to, is it exempt from self-employment tax?
All right. So before I say anything, I'm not a tax preparer. I can't give tax advice. But here's what I'll tell you that I know from my own experience, and that is the half of the self-employment tax that is exempt on the notarial value only. So for us, the $15 that we can charge for the notarial, like all the rest of the income that we make is subject to the self-employment tax, all of it. The other thing I know is that all your income is subject to federal tax, whether or not it's notarial value or not.
Okay.
Right?
That includes the loan signing income.
Yeah, there's no difference. All of your income, 100% of your income is taxable.
Okay.
Every penny that you didn't write off. All right, that's taxable. Now within that, some of your money was for notary work, meaning the notarial part, and the rest of it was printing and traveling and whatever else we do, right? And so that little tiny piece has an exemption we may take if we want, which even if we're qualified to do so, may or may not be a good idea for you personally, because it depends on have you put in all your credits for Social Security yet. Again, you should talk with somebody about whether or not you want to do that, because then that part of that income is not reported for Social Security because you're not paying that piece.
Okay.
All right, so you're not contributing as much, which means it lowers at the back end. Now I'm already 60. I've put in all the credits I have to. I've earned all the money I need to worry about. I don't care that I want my money now. I don't know about Social Security, so I am taking advantage of that, but that may or may not be right for everybody.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay, I'll have to research more into that. Oh, talk to my
research. Here's something. Thank you for asking this question, and actually Kimberly for hers. One of the things that I notice about not just notaries, just people, is that we ask, we research, but the way we research is we go around asking people's advice and asking their opinion about, what their experience is or what they know. But what we really need to be doing is asking who is the expert in that area.
Right.
So if you want expert notary information, I'm your gal.
Right.
If you want information about should I take that exemption or how much of that is tax exempt, or should I be an LLC? Those are kinds of things that we're not the right experts for that. So what we need to be doing is making sure when we research, we don't go to a forum and post it out there. Should I be an LLC? Right? Because you're going to get all kinds of opinions, and we don't want opinions. We want
facts.
Right? We need facts, and we need expertise to make good decisions. Right? We can't make good decisions based on other people's experience and what their personal situations. And that's why I know it seems like I deflect a lot, but I do that because I don't want to give you information that causes you to make a decision based on that, and it was a bad decision.
Yeah. Everyone's situation is different.
It is. It is. And so Bill and Carol and I, we are your notary gurus. That's what we're here for. But when it comes to outside of that stuff, we may not be the right people to ask.
Okay. Got it. One quick question.
Yes.
It's another state. It's for Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia is an attorney state. So for individual signing agents, how can they go about? So does that mean that the attorney has to be present during the loan signings?
Well, they have to be involved in the loan signing. Doesn't mean they have to be present at the moment, but they might have drawn it up. They may have gone over the documents. They may be available by telephone or by Zoom. They may be there, but they're involved in that. I've done several Georgia properties in California.
Right.
And what I had was a phone number for the attorney that he was available during that hour should I need assistance. So he was available by phone if I needed him.
So you're basically collaborating with the attorney more.
Well, he was just provided to me as the support. He didn't hire me to begin with. I don't recall who hired me. And both, actually, one was just a personal friend of mine who had property in Georgia. The other one might have been a signing service. And
so you can go through signing services in Georgia?
Well, the thing is that I don't go looking for Georgia. What I'm saying is when you work for signing services or for Title Direct, it's national, right? They're all national. And so when they offer me a job, the person happens to be in California, but they may have a property in Georgia. So that's how an assigning service can coordinate that.
Right. No, I understand. But if you're a notary in Georgia, they can still do loan signing.
Yes, they could if they're coordinating with an attorney.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
There's something called the Notary Institute. You might want to look it up. And there's some young women there that are talking about attorney state issues and how they get the work and the different hurdles they go through. And they've put on several webinars. And if you're interested in learning more about how that works in Georgia or another attorney state, look up Notary Institute.
Notary Institute. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
All right. I want to go back. I think, Cassie, if you're still on the call, I don't know if you are. I did ask for you at the beginning.
Hi.
Are you here? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. But now we can hear you. Go ahead, Cassie.
All right. I'm in Virginia, and I'm curious if anyone else uses the Notary Act online journal, because I'm having questions on how to list parts of the journal, and I can give you an example. When you start it, with a signing, the first part, you ID your signers and everything, but then the first part comes up and it's got notarial act, and then it has the date, which obviously I get, but then it says type, and it gives you a bunch of different options. So like I had a loan signing, let's say I have a loan signing.
Okay.
So for type, it doesn't say loan signing. There's, it goes into like acknowledgement, affidavit.
Right. Well, I would think type is the type of notarial act, but that isn't. Is there another place for the notarial act?
Well, it does say notarial act, and it's got type, but then it's got fee underneath it.
Fee?
So, yeah, fee.
Okay.
And then it goes into documents. So that first page is, like I said, it's got the it says notarial act, and it's got the date, location, type, fee, and then it goes into each document. Document 1, document 2.
So what is your question, though? I don't understand the question.
Okay. My question is on that first section where it's got notarial act, and then it says type, and then the fee. I mean, is that where, because it's not like I'm talking about a document there. I would think that means that.
Well, doesn't it says notarial act type, that doesn't mean the type of notarial act?
Well, I mean, I guess because it lists all different types of notarial act, but I guess what's throwing me is that underneath that it has fee, but then after that, then you start putting in different documents. So
now, I don't use this, so I really can't talk about what that was my best guess.
Right.
If anybody in the chat is using that, but you know what? I would go back to the vendor who sells that and ask them, right? Let's go to the experts, the people that designed that journal. You should be talking to them to say, I'm not quite sure I understand how to use what I bought from you.
Right. Okay. All right. I just wanted to check, and maybe if someone else in the chat can if they use it, they can say. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm glad I caught you. If anybody recognize what she's talking about, and you put a little note in the chat so she could see that, That would be great. I did see Lee would be willing to walk you through, and I believe Lee is the person that's the owner of Notary Act.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now I'm just gonna look because we're just about 1 o'clock and I don't see, let me just make sure I've hit everybody. My last hand is kind of, oh, wait a minute, I've got some more. But you know, let me go through all these. Okay. So if somebody has a short question, no stories, no three-parters, then I'll let you go. Gloria.
Hi, I did have my hand up, but that's okay. I'm in California, and I have just a couple quick questions. How often do they audit your journal, and how far back do they go?
So they can go back as far as they want.
Oh, wow.
And how often? Every year, journals are audited. It's like the IRS. It's kind of a lottery system. We don't know what percentage of notaries. There's 165,000 notaries in the state of California. You know, so they're only going to pick some random portion of that, and every year they pick a different random portion. And over the course of your commission or commissions, I'm on my 5th one and I haven't been audited. It doesn't mean I won't be. You just never know when that's going to happen.
Okay, another quick question on the timestamp. I'm doing some signings for some signing companies, and they usually have a lot of notarized documents, like 10 or 12. So, you know, in the process of going through the signing, it's really, really tough to jot in time. So I haven't been doing that. And I don't know how critical that is.
It's a required element in California.
Oh, wow.
So you can decide if that's critical, but I'm telling you, it is required.
Yeah, so that they would ding me for that one if they audited, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Well, thank you. Appreciate your input. You're awesome. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. All right. She was nice and quick. I know some of you may drop off the call because you have other appointments to go to, but I'm willing to take one more question. And I see, is it Celicia?
Hey, yay, it's
Hey,
me.
there you go.
Hey, Laura, hey, everybody. I have a very important signing. It's my very first signing, but it's not really my first. It's going to be mine tomorrow. So I'm doing a refi, and I don't know whether I should say, oh, by the way, I'm a loan signing agent, or if I should keep my mouth shut.
I think it's a great opportunity to just watch, but you know, if you filled out your, loan application, it may say what you do. What did you put on your loan application?
Retired, railroad retired.
Oh, well, then they won't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm doing one next week with my son, and I've reported before, and the last 2 I've done, they've been horrible. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't say anything, and I'd just observe.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it quiet and just, see.
Just check it out. Okay. Well, that was nice and fast. Thank you for asking that. All right. Here, Dulce, you get to be last.
Okay, thank you. I just had a quick question. So I need to refill my ink, my stamp, because it's very light.
Yeah.
But I've seen 2 types. So it's kind of like a pad, I guess, that goes inside.
Yes.
Or I've also seen like a little, like a dropper. So I don't know which one is best, and actually faster to get, because I'm very low.
All right. So first of all, who did you buy it from?
The NNA.
All right. So the one that has that little tray means you can only accept the tray. They're not interchangeable. If you bought a stamp that has the tray, you have to replace it with the tray. If you use the little dropper bottle with ink, you will ruin it.
Okay, good to know, because I was thinking of putting the dropper in there. So just buy the replacements.
Yeah, just get the replacement. They come in a set of 2.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and by the way, if anybody does, I'm not selling the NNA today, but if you are buying anything from the NNA, remember I have a code that will give you free shipping. Free shipping, 50320. It is good until December 31st. You can use it over and over and over again, but you can only use it on the internet, on their website. You can't call the call center. They will not give you free shipping.
What was the code one more time?
50320.
Thank you so much, Laura.
I referred you, and it gives you free shipping.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you guys, I've run it to the end. You guys have been great. Thank you for keeping your questions concise. Thank you for telling me where you're from. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.